you're either going towards diabetes or you're in reverse to go back towards a normal fasting blood sugar and a normal A1C. And this is what people don't understand about any kind of disease process.
I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening. Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer. Carrie, would you please introduce yourself to the audience who might not know who you are?
Who doesn't know me? Come on. No, I'm always shocked when people know me and they're like, you're well known to me. And I'm like, ooh, that's like what you put on a patient's chart. That's difficult. Well known to this provider. My name is Carrie Thompson. I'm the Chief Operations Officer here at Code Red and a registered nurse, about 20 years in the ICU doing open hearts till Cristy headhunted me. I was so happy to come on board with her. Guys, I also lost over 100 pounds on the Code Red lifestyle and I kept it off for about 10-ish years. But the other thing you need to know is that I had weight loss surgery in Mexico. Didn't tell anyone. You should go check out that episode when you have time. It's a interesting story, and had to have it reversed. Did not lose any weight or very little weight from the actual weight loss surgery, and had to figure out how to live life with failed weight loss surgery and all those complications and lose the weight with Code Red. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You guys probably noticed that I don't ever wear glasses, but I have these black classic glasses on, and they are actually blue light blocking glasses that I wear sometimes. I'm surrounded by 4 devices plus 2 lights. And so these are the Swannies day wear blue light blocking glasses to help reduce the eye strain. And then Carrie right now is wearing the Swannies night wear blue light blocking glasses. They reduce over 80% of the blue light coming in, because blue light definitely inhibits the melatonin production and it keeps you awake, so that you buy more things online. So you can get some Swannies if you want by going to coderedlifestyle.com/Swannies and using the code Rebel15 for 15% off. So it's a significant savings.
If you want to be on your devices at night, which we do not suggest, that's fine, but you have to have blue light blocking glasses.
Right.
Because being on your device, as the sun goes down, you're going to want to put these on in the evening, the ones I'm wearing, and you're going to wear them until bed. And then you can be on your device and it will not inhibit the natural ability to fall asleep. So that is why night blue blocking glasses, Swannies makes a good. Cristy has a day. And then if you have any kind of eye strain during the day and being all the devices, that's what I love about the day wear. But this, just me putting this on just now, Cristy, everything kind of went, oh, like my brain just did a big sigh.
And I don't normally wear them during the day, but today it's a Sunday. We're recording this on a Sunday, and Sundays are my busiest days. And I literally have, I know that I have scripts waiting for me for 7 videos. And then I had 4 meetings before this one. So I'm on the computer almost 12 hours today. And that's a lot of eye strain. So we would love for you to pick up. We partnered with Swanwick. We think they're we think they're the best. So you can get that Code Red discount by going to Rebel15 and taking advantage of that. But anyway, I knew I was going to get comments like, I didn't know you wore glasses. And I was like, well, no, but today I am going to.
I'll put my day wear ones on. That way I can have it. It's like a big sigh of relief. It's like a hot bath for your brain.
It is. It does. I do feel the relief when I wear them. Today we're talking about a road with no exits. And what are we talking about? A road with no exits. And Carrie and I was just visiting her in Kentucky in the kind of towards the end of January 2022. And we were talking about this in the car, and immediately I wrote it down and I said, sis, this is really good. We were specifically talking about diabetes, but we were going to bring up other things. But what does it mean when we talk about a road with no exits?
I would like to use our dad as a great example. So our dad, Larry, suffered a heart attack, a pretty giant MI, Was it 2 years ago, Cristy?
Yeah.
2 years ago, New Year's Day. And he did. I mean, he saw Jesus and he was headed towards the light. Like it
Yep.
was not good. And he had to be stented. Now, at the time of his heart attack, he had an elevated A1C. A1C is the other word for that is a glycosylated hemoglobin, and it measures what your blood sugar has been doing. The real simple version is what's your blood sugar been doing for the last 3 months. So you can't hide. It's going to give you a number. It's going to give you a range. You know, I mean, it's not going to give you a name. It's going to give you a number, and that tells you, hey, today your fasting blood sugar may be good, but what kind of crap have you been eating? How is your body processing? How is your body using insulin for the last 3 months? So at the time of his heart attack, he did have an elevated A1C, meaning that he was on a road. Okay. The moment you wake up, the moment you come out of your mom's womb and you take a breath, you're on a road. And I think this is an important concept to understand. And just with regard to diabetes, my dad, now our dad, he's on a road. He's on the road to diabetes. So he can either keep moving forward towards diabetes and keep moving forward with an elevated A1C, or he can turn around and not turn around, but put it in reverse and back up the other way. But he's on a road, Cristy, and there are no exits on this road. You can't stop. You can't idle. You can't tread water. You can't just float on a floaty. You're either going towards diabetes or you're in reverse to go back towards a normal fasting blood sugar and a normal A1C. And this is what people don't understand about any kind of disease process. But in the field that Cristy and I are in, weight loss, we find it with diabetes the most.
88% of all diseases are lifestyle, which means we cause them. 88% of all diseases we cause, and they are preventable. 88%, you guys, and 78% of people in this country at the time right now are insulin resistant. 78% of them are knocking on the door of diabetes, and it's a road that goes like this. It's this way or this way. There really is no, there is no exit. You can't get off of it. And this is a serious problem that we see all the time with people. We see it with our own family members. Almost every single member of our family is 100 pounds overweight. Our extended family, not our mom, but our extended family. And it's, and my mom and dad's side, it's not good. And it's this way or that way. Oh, and we see this with our rebels. And they try to cherry pick the program. They try to skirt the rules. They try to maybe just do certain things. And it's not getting them anywhere. It's either getting them forward or backward.
I have a real pet peeve with the medical community. And a lot of I am a nurse. So I do have a great amount of respect for mid-level practitioners, PAs and NPs, and MDs, DOs, all that. So I don't want anyone to think that this is born out of disrespect, but it is absolutely so frustrating when I see people come through the program, or when I am working as a nurse. I work home health every once in a while now, and people say, well, I'm pre-diabetic. No, you aren't. No, you aren't. You're on the road. You're on the road. So the next stop is insulin. So do you want to go backwards and not have to start taking oral medications and insulin and start having all the horrific effects of diabetes? Or do you want to go backwards? Like, I've never understood when doctors say to people, you're pre-diabetic, we'll just wait and see. What are we doing? All you're doing is telling them to refill with gas and keep moving down the road. So I do think that the modern medical community doesn't have a lot of training on how to help these people, because they give them crazy ideas about healthy whole grains and all this crazy stuff that we hear. And, it is some really weird advice. And by the way, people are not getting better. People are not getting better. They really aren't. I mean, the stats are out there. It's crazy. So what happens is we tell people they're pre-diabetic, Cristy, and they're just still traveling down the road at 90 miles an hour. Like, you're still on the road. We don't say to him, stop right where you are. You have an opportunity to put your car in reverse. You have an opportunity to no longer be in this range. You have an opportunity to lose weight, to feel better, to have normal blood sugars, to not have to be on metformin and glucophage and all this other crazy stuff out there. but we don't say that to people.
My first husband, Jason Nickel, is type 1 diabetic. So he was born this way. And then then it came out right when he was right about 8 years old. He doesn't produce any insulin. His pancreas does not produce any insulin. So he needs exogenous insulin. So he needs insulin that he has to give himself from a pump, from a shot, from a liquid, from medical. He has to give it to himself all the time. And it is so I know I was with him for 5 years, and I saw firsthand how this affected his life. It's you can't cure it. It's going to be with him for the rest of his life, always will be with him. And he didn't do anything to deserve it. And he'll always have it. And this is his lot in life. And he would be so frustrated with people who have type 2 diabetes, who did cause it, and they can reverse it, and yet they choose not to. They choose to continue eating the croissants, the oatmeal, the Pop-Tarts, the Hungry Man TV dinners, all that crap, the oatmeal from the McDonald's drive-thru. They continue to choose those foods that break down their system and trash their pancreas. And he doesn't have a choice. And he was like, if I would love to be able to, we have this epidemic, this rampant epidemic of people who are now type 2 diabetes because they just continue. And I know he would give anything to not be diabetic.
Do you know, Cristy, that when I was in nursing school, you know how names change? We used to say congestive heart failure. Now we just say heart failure, things like that. So when I was in nursing school, it was juvenile onset diabetes. That was type 1. Sure. And then adult onset diabetes was type 2. So now, because so many young kids are getting type 2 diabetes, we've stopped calling it, to the best of my knowledge, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, we've stopped calling it juvenile onset and adult onset, because you have 7-year-olds that have type 2 diabetes, and they don't have type 1. Like, their pancreas was still working until their moms gave them Mountain Dew in bottles and things like that, which we have seen. And what I really find interesting about that, Cristy, is that nobody's talking about this. Nobody is saying, do you know that we had to change the name of this because little kids are getting type 2 diabetes? We can no longer call it adult onset diabetes. We can no longer call it. I just have to say this, Cristy, because when you were at my house, we discovered this. What did Anne Marie tell you? Now, in Kentucky, the school breakfast and lunch are free, regardless of, I know, can you guys see, those of you that are watching, can you see the look on Cristy's face? So in Kentucky, the lunches and breakfast are free. They're not there. I think they have some kind of a grant, is subsidized. We don't meet the qualifications for reduced lunches, so they just don't even have reduced lunches. They just give away breakfast and lunch for free. And that was true before we moved to the place where we are now. So it is, I think it's kind of a Kentucky thing. Anyway, all that to say, Anne Marie comes home and she says, I'm hungry. I didn't like what was for breakfast or lunch. One day she tells me, I said, what was for breakfast? And she said to me, funnel cakes and Pop-Tarts. I kid you not. She can't even make a good choice in that choice. There's not even a fruit that she could have in that choice. And again, we don't want to go off on school lunches, but if you have to rename a disease, I think it's time to realize that we are all putting our kids with normal pancreases, with normal blood sugars. We're all putting them on a one-way road to diabetes. And this is not a road that they can exit. This is not a road that they can exit. And I'm shocked that this is not talked about.
I went to a business conference and I sat next to an endocrinologist, and he had his own practice. And I said, oh, and of course, I mean, I was completely like, oh yes, I got to sit next to an endocrinologist. Let me pick your brain. I mean, he was super healthy, super lean. He was an athlete. He watched his diet. And I said, so I just assumed that he believed what we believed, and he was teaching his patients. And I said, what do you like? Tell me. I said, isn't it so frustrating to you? You know, like, are you able to reverse this diabetes? Are you able? He said, no. And he was kind of frustrated. He goes, no. I go, well, do you tell them this, this, and this? He said, no. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, they're not going to listen. He said, I tell them, but they don't listen. And I thought, really, like, as an MD, if you sit down and you look, you scoot your little rolling chair next to the person and you lean in, you say, I am not kidding when I tell you, you are 6 months away from having this foot amputated. You're telling me that they're not going to change? And he said, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Some people just don't. But I feel like the medical community could try harder.
But Cristy, they just don't have the time. I mean, truthfully, I mean, anybody that's a physician or a mid-level that's watching this right now, you know how many patients you have in a day. You know how you don't even have, you have to go home and do your charting and write your notes and do your H&Ps later on. They don't have time. And, you know, people don't listen. Cristy, we have had people on our program that have stopped their progress down the path, down the road, stopped it. And then because they got mad at Code Red or whatever they wanted to have their ho-hos, they have put their car back in a drive and they've gone through all the gears and gone straight back into diabetes. Start taking insulin again, having to be on oral agents again. So clearly it is a road with no exits. It's drive or it's reverse. By the way, my very first car had first and fifth gear and reverse. Yes. So you go, you wear it really high in first, then you put it in fifth. That is the road to diabetes, guys.
Yeah.
It's first gear or fifth gear or it's reverse. It's like my old car. There is no other options. And until people understand this, they're going to continue to have complications to diabetes that cost the American public so much money. Not only does it cost you your impotence, it costs you eyesight, kidney function, liver function. Yeah. Carrie, and this is not only about diabetes. Like, let's shift a little bit, Cristy. Let's talk about, I have fatty liver. Fatty liver has nothing to do with fat and everything to do with sugar. And until we understand that fatty liver is a one-way road, every time you go through the drive-through, every time you eat those French fries, every time you choose to eat an entire Pop-Tart before you stop and get your dinner, then you are just continuing down that road every time you eat Frankenfood. Because remember, your liver is trying to figure out where to put these things. It doesn't know. These are not broccoli. Okay, put it in the back by the nutrients. Okay, cauliflower. Yep, I know what that is. Put it here. Plastics from McDonald's chicken McNuggets. I have no idea where that should go.
Yeah, Velveeta trees.
Velveeta, yeah, things that are not real food but are marketed as real food. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know, you all know these foods. Shelf stable Frankenfoods. Your liver does not know what to do with them, so it deposits the crap places. It just doesn't know. And that's a very simple explanation, but that's what's happening. And so, until you understand that fatty liver, every time you drink at night, every time you just have wine with the girls, every time you don't have your water, every time you don't eat something like a chia seed that helps detoxify and clean you out, you're just headed down that road. And there's no U-turns, guys. It's first or it's reverse. Just like my Plymouth Arrow. That's it.
And the thing about it is, you guys are thinking that it's just this once. It's just this weekend. It's just this weekend in Vegas. It's just this one wedding. It's just this one time at Taco Tuesdays. It's not. The problem is all those just ones, they continue to add up to where you do have full-blown fatty liver, and that ain't no joke, or where your A1C is now 6.1, 6.4, 8.3, 11.6, bam, bam, bam. Like, you don't get it. These just ones continue to add up, and you keep thinking, I'll go back on Monday. I'll like Rewrote was going to, Rewrote, one of our past coaches. I know I bring her up a lot, and she's brought this up. She doesn't mind me saying she had gotten down, lost 80 pounds, got down to 120 pounds, and got out of the Code Red lifestyle completely, started gaining weight, and kept saying, I'll take care of it on Monday. I'll start back on Monday. Now she's gained back over 100 pounds. So you just keep saying, I'll start back on Monday. Well, I'm just going to enjoy blah, blah, blah. Then I'll start back. Well, my son's had a DUI. When I get through court, I'll start back. Well, my kid's flunking math. As soon as I get him back up to a C, I'll start back. And your health continues to go down that road. And there is no exit. So these plus ones that you keep, like just one, they continue to add up to real serious sickness and disease. And before you know it, 3 years, 5 years, 15 years has gone by, and you're on a CPAP and you're on loads of medication and you're getting ready to have a foot amputated.
One thing I find interesting, Cristy, is about a community of people that I sort of casually follow just because I find it very interesting. And you and I have had some conversations about this. And this would be the bodybuilding community. Now, we're not talking about the people that do steroids and all that. Like, I don't want to go there. So I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about people that work towards figure competitions, that are working to really define their body. One thing that's very interesting is that they get this concept of the road. And they really do. And I don't agree with everything they do. They look great. I don't have that kind of commitment, let's be honest, but I'm fascinated by the community, and I've followed quite enough of them. I've found it interesting that they understand the road concept. So every time, and you guys, they eat a million times a day. Like, it's crazy to us Code Red rebels, but that's what they're doing. And that's fine, because that's the space they're in. But every single bite they take is getting them closer to the the gluteus maximus, the deltoids, the biceps, the traps, the abs. It is all pushing them down that road. That's why the supplements, everything is very carefully measured, managed, everything. And that's why they are the elite as far as the way they look. But they understand the concept of the road. Christy's neighbor, Chris Geffen, here's an excellent example of somebody who understands. The other day he was breaking up the ice to get into the ice bath. And I thought, God, do you have to do it every morning? And I thought, yeah, that's why he looks like he does. That's why he functions at the level that he does, because it's every measured breaking up the ice to get in. Just because it's a Sunday doesn't mean you don't go get in the ice bath. Just because it's a Monday doesn't mean you don't go to the gym. Just because it's a Tuesday doesn't mean you don't take your supplements. And again, these are not things that Code Red Rebels necessarily agree with, but the concept behind the fact that people in that space understand the road. They don't put it in reverse. It's every bite, every supplement, every pill, every movement in the gym. It's all measured and managed. And that's how they go down that road. Now, not all, I think it takes a different kind of personality to be one of those people. But guys, in your weight loss journey with Code Red, every single thing, it's the same. Every time you don't get your sleep, you're just putting your car in reverse. Every time you don't pre-measure and log your food, or think about what you're going to eat, or have a conversation with yourself about getting your water in. Well, I just had some coffee. I've had a friend say, I'm having trouble getting my gallon in. Well, I had 3 cups of coffee. Well, then you're not setting your Code Red water bottle out filled with water the night before. So you're either on that road, or you're stopped and you're in my Plymouth Arrow and your car is in reverse.
Yep. Yeah. And the bodybuilding example was an excellent example, because they literally take it all the way down to every bite, gets them either closer or further from a goal. And I wish Code Red Rebels would look at it that granular. They would realize, because they always say, well, it's just one Taco Tuesday night. Well, that one just put you in reverse in the Plymouth Arrow. And I really love it. Fucking Plymouth. I love that car, that Plymouth Arrow. It went on and on and on. And it was a great car, and it does. And I wish our Code Red Rebels understood that it's every bite, every hour of sleep, every drop of water. It matters. It all matters. Instead of just saying this weekend doesn't matter. No, this bite matters. This weekend doesn't matter. This bite. And that is how bodybuilders are. They're wired that way. And every step they take, everything adds up to the end result of being on that stage and 4% body fat. And if you're not, and all of the rebels that are listening to this, I bet none of them are bodybuilders, and none of us are, but you need to understand that every step you take gets you to that goal weight of back that you were in high school, gets you to being able to get pregnant, hopefully, and get your PCOS under control. Yeah, PCOS. I was like, what? Or get your diabetes to where you are in remission and you got it back under control. Every bite matters, you guys.
And every time you say next Monday, next Tuesday, and we've done multiple podcasts on this, you're just going in reverse. You're not idling. You think you're idling. Well, I'm just going to hang here for a while. I like being 170 pounds. Everyone says I look good. That's fine. That's fine. But don't fool yourself into thinking that you're idling, because you're probably slipping backwards. It's pretty tough to idle. It's pretty tough to tread water. People think they can tread water. It is more tiring for me to tread water than just to get it over and done with and just swim across the lake. Just get it done. And so people always say, well, I need to get back in the groove. Well, just so you know, on the road, you're actually in reverse. And that's fine if that's where you want to be, but just be aware. Don't tell me that you're idling when you're actually in reverse.
Don't tell yourself. Don't tell yourself that you're idling, but you're in reverse.
Yes, exactly. That's excellent.
I love that. I love that. I love this subject, the road with no exits. You got to wrap your head around this. This is where you are. Stop fooling yourself. When nobody's around, look at yourself in the mirror and say the truth to yourself. At least be honest with you. You are not idling. You're either going forward or backward. I love that, sis.
And it is a lifetime thing when you think about it. From the moment you were born, you start on a road. And the problem is people like, I just want to relax. And do I think there are moments in maintenance where you can have your caramel macchiato and you can have your cheesecake? Yes, those are out there. I don't want you to be like, my God, but the problem is just because you get to goal weight or just because you think I'm done with all this dieting, you don't get to step off the road. I have a friend, a dear friend that I love dearly, and she lost a lot of weight with Code Red and then started getting into this. And this is fine if this is your way of thinking. And Cristy knows who I'm talking about. This body positivity. And it doesn't matter what you weigh, it's how you feel. And I do believe in body positivity, but has gained quite a big chunk of weight
40 pounds.
back. Yeah, has gained a big chunk of weight back. But what she doesn't understand is that you go on the road when you're born and you don't get off till you die. So it doesn't matter what your philosophy is, you're still on the road. You might say, I don't believe in the road. The road doesn't exist for me. I believe in just asking my body, what do you want? Do you want chocolate chip cookies? Yes, you do. You eat it. You be happy. It doesn't matter. But what people don't understand that live this crazy life, that idea, and that's fine if you want to be that way, you're still on the road. You're still on the road. And people think, I don't believe in the road. The road only exists for other people. Okay, well, tell me that when you're metabolically broken. Tell me that when your A1C is 12. And yes, I've seen them. Well, I just believed in being happy and loving myself. And I think you should, but you need to be aware that the road exists. It doesn't cease to exist just because you decided to change the way you think about health. Okay. I'm off.
That's 100%. And by the way, in maintenance, when we do choose to have the cheesecake, we understand in maintenance that we are reversing. We know that we're in reverse. We know that that's going to put us in reverse, but then we immediately course correct and start immediately the next morning on moving forward. And we spend the majority of our time moving forward, but we're not blind to the fact that we know this cheesecake is going to put us in reverse. And then some people in maintenance just choose, they're like, I don't want to go in reverse. I don't want to stop. I don't want to have the Domino's pizza and the cheesecake. I don't want to have the wine. I like moving in this way. But in maintenance, you need to understand, yes, you can, but it is going to have a cost. And even if you're not in maintenance right now, you need to understand that every single decision you're making is either putting you in reverse or it's putting you in first or third. And it does not have an exit. It's this way or that way. That's it, you guys.
Yeah. And people want to act like the road does not exist.
Right.
Because
you don't believe it.
I'm just a beautiful person. But I'm sorry, you are a beautiful person, but disease exists. Knees giving out exists because of obesity. Heart problems because of obesity. No matter how much you love yourself, atherosclerosis still exists.
Yes.
No matter how positive you are about your body, fatty liver still exists. No matter how positive about your body, no matter how much you love your 300-pound self, and that is fine. But beware that knee replacements are still out there, that seatbelt extensors are still out there. And that's what aggravates me about the body positivity movement. It's not about being not body positive. It's about not considering the health risk and pretending like there's not a road. And that's, start the recording over. Let's do a whole podcast on that. Now I'm on a roll. I'm all hot and bothered, Cristy.
Like the whole fat is beautiful. No, you are beautiful, whether you're fat or not, but fat is unhealthy. So we need to get you down to but no, beautiful is beautiful no matter if you're fat or thin. Don't sit there and say fat is beautiful. No, it's not. It means you're broken.
It means that you have taken in more calories than your body requires. It's an imbalance, and you can love yourself at any size, but the road doesn't disappear just because you love yourself. And that's what the problem is. The road is either leading to disease or away from disease. And those diseases are out there, and we can change the way we think and we can change our mindset as a society. But those diseases don't just go, oh, so we love ourselves? Well, then you don't need a double knee replacement.
There you go.
You don't need it then. Oh, you love yourself, but Betty doesn't. Okay, Betty gets a knee replacement, but you just get a free ride. Your bone is not grinding on your bone. No, you're fine. That's the problem. They don't realize the road is still there, and they don't choose to deal with it because they don't want to. It's painful. It's hard. It is not easy. This is not easy. This is the easiest hard thing you'll ever do, but it is still hard to go down the road. But it's going to be hard with you giving yourself injections in reverse every day because of your diabetes, or it's going to be hard because you're mindful about what you shove in your mouth. Either way, it's hard.
Ooh, I love this. I absolutely love this podcast, A Road with No Exits. Guys, thanks for joining us on Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. We love you guys. Please join us in our Code Red private network at coderedlifestyle.com/APP. We would love to have you in there. We'd love to have you on Code Red Ringside, which are the best seats in the house. We'll see you on the next episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you're not subscribed already, please be sure to do that right now. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you could do me a quick favor and rate and review this podcast. That would be just so helpful. Speaking of help, let me know if I can help you. Go to coderedlifestyle.com, check out my programs, and see what we can do for you. Until next time, Rebel on.